Winter is the ultimate test of survival for any animal. Whether you hide, flee, or adapt, when the land becomes an icy battleground, all life teeters on a razor's edge. When winter knocks, you'd better be ready. The harshest season on Earth punishes the unprepared. Here in the Rockies, one animal doesn't tolerate weakness. Rocky Mountain Bighorn sheep. Before the freeze, they gather for an annual battle to decide who among them will get the females and father next spring's lambs. This 6-year-old is finally ready to compete. His rival is a bigger, stronger 8-year-old ram. The challenger provokes the fight. With body kicks and tongue flicking, he taunts his opponent. The older ram seems to walk away in submission. But his posture is known as the low stretch. It means, you want a piece of me? Come get it. The force of the impact, delivered at over 20 miles per hour, is enough to kill a human instantly. Two layers of skull protect their brains. Fighting lasts for hours. The crack of 30-pound horns colliding can be heard more than a mile away. Finally, the young challenger surrenders. For him, this winter will be a lonely one. The fighting ensures only the toughest genes will be passed on. Survival in the Rockies demands nothing less. At the top of the world, along the coast of Russia's Chukchi Sea, thousands of Pacific walruses anticipate the coming winter. That's when the ice sheets form that they depend on to survive. They fled south when the northern ice melted completely. Now mothers and calves bob in the surf. Sooner or later, though, they'll need to come ashore on a beach already packed with bad-tempered males. Time to haul out. Desperate latecomers have no choice but to climb. With 20,000 walruses on the beach, bodies stretch far up the slopes. They've reached a critical mass. Two-ton giants clamber over a heaving sea of flesh and tusks. Before finding a spot, a walrus can travel half a mile without ever touching the ground. "200-pound youngsters flounder in the increasing chaos. Inevitably, the crush proves deadly for some. But now, a sign of hope. Snow, the signal they've been waiting for. With winter bearing down in the far north, the sea should begin freezing again. The promise of ice calls them away from the deadly beach. Ice floes will allow them to rest in between deep dives for clams and mussels. Finally, they can spread out. Unlike many other animals, winter is the walrus's salvation. On the opposite side of the world, emperor penguins endure the coldest winter on Earth. Here in Antarctica, temperatures can fall to about 60 degrees below zero, with 120-mile-per-hour winds. Mom produced the egg. Now it's Dad's job to protect it. It's a dangerous moment. If the egg spends too long on the ice, the chick inside will freeze and die. After the handoff, Mom's new job is to eat as much as possible and gain weight. Look fun? Only if you're a penguin. Antarctic saltwater chills out at 28 degrees Fahrenheit. Swimming up to 16 miles an hour, they travel up to 100 miles from shore, all to put on the pounds. Leopard seals are the penguin's main predator. No matter how far the Emperors travel, they've got to pass the seal on the way out. And again, on the way in. Near the threat zone, penguins stay in a fast-moving group, trailing bubbles from their feathers and lungs that could confuse the seals. While Mom dodges predators at sea, Dad braves the dark Antarctic winter on the ice. He'll stand in the brutal cold for almost 4 months without food. Thousands of fathers huddle for warmth, taking turns to suffer the brunt of the wind in the outer circle. A single emperor penguin could not endure these elements. They rely on one another to survive. It's not Antarctica, but Minnesota's winters are some of the coldest in the United States, often reaching sub-zero temperatures. All the snow can make prey tough to find. This bobcat watches for the water to freeze solid. There might be better hunting on the other side. Bobcats can swim, but they'd rather avoid it, especially in this weather. She pees in the water, possibly to hide her scent. No crossing today, but the sub-zero temperatures that build bridges of ice are not far away. Ready or not, the worst is yet to come. From the mighty ranges of Alaska to the icy heart of the Rockies, winter in North America throws everything it has at you. When the big freeze bears down, even Mother Nature's toughest struggle to make it through. But it's not all hardship. Navigating snow and ice is a breeze for the nimble vole. Record snowfall along the banks of the Mississippi gives him the upper hand. The vole can easily burrow down in the snowpack to nest and forage for food. unseen by the eagles above. But some raptors use more than eyes to find prey. At 200 yards away, this great gray owl may seem an unlikely threat. But if he listens carefully, he may actually hear tiny feet scuffling below, no matter how deep the snow. All winter long, great gray owls hunt along the shores of the Mississippi, using little more than acute hearing to hone in on their prey. Their unique feathers muffle the sounds of their wings, so they fly in total silence. For this stealth assassin, chewing is overrated. At the bottom of the world, the Antarctic ice sheet almost doubles in size during wintertime. Emperor penguins are the only warm-blooded animals that stay to ride out the season. The egg has a thick shell. It can take the chick 2 or 3 days to hatch out. Newly hatched emperor chicks are nearly naked. Babies stay warm in the cozy folds of Dad's belly. His feet keep them off the deadly ice. Dad saved a few small, nourishing meals in his stomach all those months to give his chick when it hatched. But this is the last of it. Some females have returned, but there's no sign of his mate. Father and chick are both starving. If this goes on much longer, Dad will have to head back to the sea alone, leaving the chick to perish. Nature forces breeding adults to prioritize their own survival. Mom better hurry. Back at the edge of the ice, the leopard seal is hungry too. She's 12 feet long, 900 pounds, teeth like a grizzly bear. Penguins can outswim leopard seals. But on land, it's a different story. This penguin mom is in big trouble. But luckily, another potential meal distracts the hungry leopard seal. A clumsy escape, but it suits her just fine. It's time for Mom to head back to the colony and relieve Dad, who hasn't eaten anything in months. This was relatively smooth going when the mothers left. Now, there are chunks of ice to deal with. It's like four-wheeling with the tires off. Near Little Falls, Minnesota, the Mississippi River is barely moving. As winter advances, ice is choking the river, shrinking air holes for otters. Beavers on the tributaries hunker down. Now they spend most of their time beneath the snow and ice. They travel underwater, between their dens and their food stash. Their movement actually melts a path in the ice above. This lonely otter takes advantage of a beaver hole and what little breathing room is left. When the Mississippi River finally freezes over, it becomes a highway for wildlife. Deer, coyote, wild turkey, temperatures along the river drop to minus 27 degrees, plus wind chill. Like the Snow Queen, she is gorgeous, but with a frozen heart. Surviving becomes more difficult for all who remain. Tough luck for this old deer is good news for a hungry eagle. But he's got to eat fast before the meat freezes solid. Nearby, the bobcat finds a sturdy bridge. But will she find food to keep her alive on the other side? This rabbit has good reason to be anxious. He may have picked the wrong time to get some air. The high snow puts Thumper in a race for his life. It cuts his speed in half, and his burrow is far away. Winter claims another victim. While some animals along the Mississippi hunt when they're hungry, others plan ahead and stock up in abandoned burrows. This porcupine spent fall packing on the pounds so he could make it through the lean winter. He'll still come out to eat bark, climb the highest limbs, and catch the last rays of sunlight. Now it's back to his temporary home and some short-term security. A less fortunate porcupine, exposed with no burrow, sits vulnerable to attack. He turns to a tree trunk and doesn't move for days, even weeks at a time. He relieves himself where he sits, hoping 30,000 spiky quills and a pile of scat will protect him. But it's not enough to save him. Out here, his death means another's survival. In Antarctica, Emperor penguin moms finally arrive at the colony. Thousands of dads are there to greet them. But which one is the right one? It's very hard to tell a male from a female, and almost impossible to tell one male or female from another. Mating pairs have memorized each other's unique call, but in a colony of 40,000, each is trying to find that one special bird. It's deafening and confusing. Scientists call this the cocktail party effect. A lucky mom can make contact in a matter of hours. For others, the search can go on for days. For some, the noise and sheer numbers may mean they'll never find their families. After days of searching, this penguin family is finally reunited. Once Dad has carefully turned the chick over to Mom, he gets his long-awaited shot at a meal. It may not look like it, but underneath all those feathers, Dad's lost 40% of his body weight. He can't afford to lose any more. It's his turn to go eat his fill and return with provisions. Over many months, both parents will make this trip to the sea multiple times before the chick is ready to be on its own, doing their best to avoid the ever-present dangers. In the far north, off the Alaskan coast, walrus groups seek refuge on the ice. They lounge while the ice drifts to new feeding grounds. Male walruses rest on their floating bachelor pads. But even here, close quarters can cause tempers to flare. They use their tusks to assert dominance. Females rest on nearby ice sheets and tend to their young. Born less than a day ago, a pup follows his mother into freezing water. It's time for Junior's first swimming lesson. Layers of blubber help walruses withstand polar temperatures. It looks like fun, but this is serious business. Soon, the ice will melt again, and the group will retrace their steps to the Russian beaches. These Arctic titans will follow the ice for their entire lives. They say the Rockies have only 3 seasons, because winter can last for 6 months. The snow should have let up by now. But this year, winter overstays its welcome. Herds of elk, which by now should be migrating back up into the mountains, still wait below for the weather to break. Elk calves are normally born higher up, but because of the lingering winter, the first ones have to be born down here. Their arrival doesn't go unnoticed. A young male black bear knows an easy meal when he smells one. Fortune favors the bear today. By the time the snow melts, elk calves will be too fast to catch. In the Rockies, the ice is starting to lose its grip. Animals who avoided the worst of the season by hibernating are stirring. Grizzlies sleep longer than black bears, who den at lower elevations. This young female grizzly is just getting up. At 2 years old, she's mature enough to have left her mother. After nearly 6 months without eating, she's ravenous. But at this age, she doesn't have the experience to hunt effectively on her own. Though the snow is just melting, here in the Rockies, next winter is only a few months away. She needs to start laying on the fat now. She'll take her calories where she can find them, even buried roots and shoots. Perhaps there's something more promising on the wind. Her nose is more sensitive than a bloodhound's. She can pick up a scent from miles away. A hungry grizzly will take prey dead or alive. But dead is a lot less work. One bison didn't survive winter in the mountains. Instinct tells her it's a feast, but she doesn't know where to start. Life's tough for a rookie. But she is a bear, and eventually gets down to business. She'll gorge herself and likely return for more in coming days. Even in Antarctica, winter must come to an end, but she doesn't want to let go. An early spring storm puts everything on hold. For the first time, chicks weather it out on their own. A valuable lesson. It's time for all of them to march to the sea. Mom and Dad's work is done. It's up to the chicks to make the journey, or starve on the ice. Finally, the sea looms ahead. Instinct tells the chicks their destiny lies in the ocean. But right now, it's a terrifying prospect. The chicks will spend days milling around before they work up enough nerve to take the plunge. On average, 90% of emperor chicks don't survive their first year of life. Just like their parents, they have to face leopard seals hiding along the ice edge. But emperors don't live through the coldest winter on the planet by being timid. Sometimes you just gotta go for it. A big leap into the unknown. The ice is receding now, but it will return to push the limits of survival once again.